I'm TEMPHUiBIS here, and today's the new Q&A. But before I start the Q&A, I've got a quick announcement. My website is back online. So a lot of people were wondering where they could download my music. Why wasn't it online and all that? And finally, the website's back online. There's going to be a lot of adjustments I'd want to make to it. Like for instance, the email that's set to on there. I don't even use that email anymore. So a lot of things need to be done. There's a lot of pages I want to change on it. But the sense of the downloads, they're all up and working. If anybody sees any bugs on it, which it's not working, then please tell me and I'll get it fixed straight up. So let's go to the Q&A. Oh, by the way, happy Easter. Now, the first question is here from joeyrealgamer. I really thought Wreck-It Ralph was a good film and loved all the references to retro gaming. What are your thoughts on Disney's latest animation? It's such a massive shock to me that this was from Disney. Usually, most big companies, or most greedy cunts, they think about money more than passion. But there was a lot on this film which I was a bit shocked about. Really, the amount of licensing they must have done on this. More of the money must have went more to the licensing than it did the production. But what do I think of the film? I think the film is utterly fantastic. It's absolutely terrific. It's got to be one of the most best films I've seen in a long while. Especially the best animated film. It was just absolutely terrific. The references to every game part was just wow, serious. It was just terrific. The game story was pretty cool. The animation was class, pretty cool effects. Everything was just all about the games, everything in the games and all that. It was really terrific, boy. Definitely really enjoyed that film. I thought it was just class. And that is definitely another film that is going to end up on my Blu-ray list. 5. I'm sorry, now second. Will you be getting GTA 5 within the first week of its release? And if not, why? The reason why I won't be getting it on the first week of its release is because I was very, very, very disappointed with GTA 4. Grand Theft Auto seems to have gone a direction of too realistic and, taking things out of it, which, there was things that I remember in Grand Theft Auto 1, Grand Theft Auto 3, which had aspects that just made me love the game quite a lot, really. And it just felt like as if the game's gone a completely different way, and it doesn't feel like the first Grand Theft Auto I started. It feels like a completely different game, I think that's probably the situation of adding all storyline and everything and all that into it, really, and concentrating a bit too much on the story, But I still have Grand Theft Auto 4, and there is still the situation of me playing it at some point. I think if I was to clock that game and platinum it, then maybe I could say, okay, then I'll probably get Grand Theft Auto 5. But then, at the moment now, I'm really not in the mood for getting it. If I have to be very, very 100% honest, there's absolutely no game I'm looking forward to on the PS3 right now. It really isn't. Not one game. I think my mind's just all set on the Ouya, man. And Wrestling Machine 9999 asks, what are your most annoying enemies you've ever fought in a video game? What is the most annoying you've ever fought in a video game? Well, there's Azrael in Tekken 6. He was a bit of an annoying boss. there was Seth in Street Fighter 4. You know, he was really hard when you play on the hardest difficulty. It was ridiculously hard then. I remember those days. Any other annoying boss and enemies? No, I can't think of them right now, but I know there is, you know, I really know there is, but I can't sit here and just completely think for hours, but there definitely was some. In Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, what's the scariest, jumpiest Nemesis moment you've ever experienced when playing the game? It was technically the first ever time I went into a safe room and he ran into it. That was basically it, because it was the first time I even noticed that even happened, you know. I mean, now that I play Resident Evil 3, you know it so well, you know it happens often, so it doesn't really spook you anymore, right? Because it was like this. Resident Evil 3, because what happened was this. You go into a safe room, right, yeah, and it plays this weird music, you know. I noticed it played a little different music. That music meant that Nemesis could come any moment, right, yeah. Obviously, the first time playing the game, you didn't realise that music. When you go into it and it's playing really normal, safe music, then you know Nemesis ain't going to come in. But there is that random music that usually comes up a little bit, and that's when I know, yep, it's Nemesis. So really the scariest, jumpiest Nemesis moment, you know, was the first ever one. Really, that was it, because he just came out of me of nowhere. You know, I walked, then it came out of nowhere. The music came out. I was like, what the fuck? And I just ran so fast I really managed to get to the door in time. It was funny, man. Zaid12, what are your thoughts on Watch Dogs? I'm not interested in GTA 5 since I was disappointed with GTA 4. See, looks like other people is as well. But Watch Dogs look great and offers nice elements of gameplay. Well, I need to see it. Sorry, I haven't watched it. I mean, I think you gave the link to the trailer as well, but I didn't watch it yet. Oh shit. Oh man, I should have watched it before recording this. Sorry, I haven't watched it yet. I might have to answer you that one privately, or and then the second one, he's got in, not a big fan of shooters, but I was pretty impressed with Prey 2 at E3 2011. The game's currently on hold, unfortunately. I like the gadgets, weapons, the Mirror's Edge free running, and the fact that it's free roam. So I suppose you're asking me what's my thoughts on Prey 2? Now I can't remember, because that was 2 years ago. I remember watching all of the videos in E3 and just not being. I think I wasn't impressed with anything that came out that time, really. So I haven't really got nothing to say on that one. And MrGrimezTheAntiHero, do you think you will release another album within the next 5 years? That's a good one. I have a feeling, yeah, there's a bit of I wasn't going to say disappointing, you know, because it does look like I've not been coming out with an album for a long while and everything and all that, right? Now, I want to come out with an album in the next 5 years, but there's always a difference between want and do. I've been struggling with music so much for the last few years that, you know, as most times I haven't got the feel anymore. But what does seem to be going pretty well is if I'm doing the music for a certain project, doing music for a game or something. So if I'm going to start working as a games musician, then my own personal projects, like albums, animation, will always be delayed and stuff. So, you know, the thing is, if I say to you, yeah, oh, I'll get a new album out next year, but then at the end of this year, I'll have what's it called, a new job, yeah, making music for a game, and then probably one straight after that, and one straight after that, hopefully. You know, it's just like, man, I know that we always got a plan in the future and everything like, yeah, but then there's always the signs of you don't know what the future is going to hold. Especially when you know, if you look at your second question here, what goals do you have for the next 6 months? Right? Now, the goals I had for the next 6 months here was finishing a few tracks that I have worked on recently and that I really wanted to finish, and then another goal is to finish a show reel of my music. You know, something that I wanted to do for quite a bit of time, make a show reel, so to give to people, show what my music's like, and also to finish the first bass modeling process on ZapeD. You know, that was my goals for 6 months. But then while I'm working on those, opportunities keeps coming in. They keep coming in. You know, a new opportunity just came for me the other day, and I ain't gonna mention what it is yet. You know, it's like, I don't want to say no to some of these opportunities, because those opportunities could be the ones. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why I'm always crowding myself. You know, it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing at the same time. So this is one of the reasons why I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to say for the future. I really don't want to say, you know, I don't know if I should say, yes, I will have an album released in 5 years, or should I say I don't. But the goals though, I've just said the goals. I'm hoping that I can meet those goals and still meet these opportunities as well. That's really a tough situation. So I just can't predict the future, boy. It's pretty stressful. And Free Jack Burton asks, Temp, have you seen The Raid Redemption? It's an Indonesian martial arts film from last year. Hands down one of the best martial arts films in decades. I wouldn't just say that for no reason. The fight scenes are top notch and completely brutal. Yes, I have seen it. I don't recall it being called Redemption. I just remember it being called The Raid. Is it a different one I mean, the one I saw was an Indonesian martial arts film as well, yeah, and it had brutal fight scenes in it as well. But then I'm starting to think here, was the one that you watched a different one, or is it just that they named it differently where you are? Because I don't remember Redemption at all. But anyway, The Raid that I saw, yes, it was brilliant. It was really terrific. Enjoyed everything in it, man. Definitely loved it. And have you listened to Calla Solid at all? Excellent but not well known electronic artist. His tracks are free to download. In particular, opening theme from Free Layers Structure Theory is just savage, man. Well, I think when you asked me this question, I think I must have listened to one of the songs, but not the opening theme one. And I remember liking the track, and but you know, you asked me this question a long time ago, and it's like, now I can't remember if I did listen to the track or if I did and I liked it or not. So, but obviously, since before you asked the question, no, I haven't. I haven't listened to Calla Soiled at all. I haven't. So and Venom 3421 have you seen or heard of Whose Line It Is Anyway? If so, what do you think of it? I think that sounds like a name of a TV show. I don't know if it's the one I'm thinking of. So I'm going to just say no. I haven't heard of it. And second, which video game character shares similarities to you? Could be a character from fighting games, action, adventure, etc. Now, which video game character? That's a hard one in the sense of that there's so many different sides to me. Like a side where I'm always completely hyper every moment. A side of me where I'm a scaredy cat. You know, a side of me where I'm always completely depressed. And a side of me where I'm so shy that I'm completely don't know what to do. So if I told you that my character could be Sonic the Hedgehog, that'd be like ridiculous because that would only be part of me, you know. But then they could easily just be the part of me, which is probably like Hippo from Victorious Boxers on the PS2, which is based off the anime Hajime Hippo. You know. Game's character could I match? I actually really don't have. I really don't think I have one. You know, that's a really great question, but I don't know what character who could I personally match. It has to be a character who has a lot of different emotions. You know, whether it's positive emotions or negative emotions, just got to be a lot of different emotions. So that's more or less the closest I can say, really. And JSJ07 asks, a lot of the time when I go to the cinema, I find that it's half empty and much less busy than it was 5 to 10 years ago. Why do you think this is, and do you think the situation's going to get worse? The reason is because everyone downloads. I found a website. I didn't find a website. My friend told me about a website called movie25.com. That website more or less just has every goddamn film on it. And when I mean every film, I'm like, man, it even has old films from you know, the 80s, the 90s on it. You think, how the hell does all that shit fit in their database? And these films are really good DVD quality as well. It's not like, you know, these are real solid, brilliant quality stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking to myself, you know, if you have stuff like this, then what does cinemas going to do? A lot of people, just don't give a damn if you're watching the cinema on a big massive screen these days. A lot of people don't even give a damn if you watch the film with 3D. A lot of people hate 3D. You know, well, some people I know anyway. A lot of people just don't give a damn about. A lot of people just don't give a damn about it these days. So that's what I think. That's what I think the problem is. You know, and do I think it's going to get worse? Yeah, I do. Sooner or later, there's going to be ways that the film will just come out and people will have it leaked onto internet more quicker than ever. Probably in the sense of it could just be downloaded quick as well. So you don't even have to stream it to watch it. And you don't have to worry about if it being getting taken off the site anymore. You get it straight away and boom, it's just done. You know? So, yeah, I really think... I really do think that it's gonna. Yeah, I just think it's gonna get very worse. It's not gonna get better at all. And second, do you think that gaming is in a bad state at the moment with the Nintendo Wii U, 3DS, and PS Vita all flopping so far with their low sale figures. I mean, in my personal opinion, I think gaming is in a bad state with not just really money, but in the sense of, you know, fans not really, not every fan, yeah, but most fans just not liking the way games are. Most of the people who made gaming what it is today all leaving games companies and stuff because they ain't got much freedom and creativity and everything and that. So you know, I just think that there's lots of situations that it's just making gaming in a bad state overall, really. You know, I mean, I just don't believe, yeah, that I'm the only person, yeah, who's not even hyped for the PS4, like whatever's coming out next. But then you got something. But then you got something coming around the corner, like the Ouya. You know, I could be one of the only people, yeah, who's hyped for it. But then I bet I'm not the only person. Could be, it's a could be, but then I just don't think so. Alright, now Martino 007 asks, hi, how are you? So any other fighting games you like besides Tekken? If so, which ones and why? Well, I like Street Fighter because, you know, it's a pretty nice fast combo, fast-paced game. I like Mortal Kombat because of the violence. You know, I like Soul Calibur because of the weapons and, you know, lovely, brilliant, unique style weapons and everything they have. And a nice little brilliant touch they add to the game by knocking people out of the ring, which I think is great. And I love Brutal Paws of Fury for the Mega Drive, which I knew was on the Super NES as well. I think that was one of the best fighting games back in those days. Even though, and it was so underrated because no one knew about it. But of course, I loved that game so much because it was an Amphro game. It was, you know, one of the games that really did bring me into Amphro. It was one of the games that realised how much I am into Amphro. And then, what other fighting games did I like? I did like Bloody Raw quite a bit. You know, a lot of people thought, yeah, that, you know, a lot of people thought that I'd love it a lot because it was Amphro. You know, the gameplay mechanics was still a bit bad, but what was also, it wasn't just a fully Amphro game. It was humans turning into an Amphro, using Amphro power, which is unique, which is different, stuff and all that. But I do usually just like when it's just a full-on Amphro, you know, Amphro characters, born Amphro, grow up Amphro, fight Amphro, you know, just completely Amphro. I usually like it like that as well. And so that's good fighting game. Here's a game, yeah, that has been classified as a fighting game, although you wouldn't really think it's a fighting game, really. You think it's just a boxing game. It's Real Steel. I think Real Steel was a really fantastic game. You know, there is a couple of kicks in there. You know, but they're reasonable because they're going with the film. How Midas was a underground robot boxer, so he could do all the illegal moves and stuff. So technically, they're going with that. They're going with that game. So therefore, that still kind of counts as a fighting game. It's been ranked. Also, it's been rated in the genre of fighting. So, and not sport like for boxing. So therefore, Real Steel is also another game. And that's it, really. That's really it. A lot of people say, yeah, I'm into almost every fighting game there is. Yeah, that's not. As you can see, that's not really that true. Okay. There's the UFC games, you know, and the other MMA games as well. Supremacy MMA, there's that as well. think Eternal Champions on the Mega Drive was not bad. And the second question: Did you play any of the Tomb Raider games at all, or didn't care too much for it, and why? The only Tomb Raider games I ever played, in fact, I actually owned them. Well, they were my brother's, but they're mine now, obviously. Is 1, 2, and 3 for the PlayStation 1. You know. The reason why I like the game, the reason why I actually played the games, for starters, fair enough. My brother bought them. The games were pretty cool. Like it was different. It brought a lot of new stuff into platforming and everything like that, yeah. And I really enjoyed that. I don't know why I got bored of it. At one point, I did just get bored. It did get to a bit where it just wasn't really my type of game anymore. Really, just got off it. But yeah, it was still something I could play, really. You know. But as for the newest Tomb Raider game, I've not touched it yet. I've not seen it yet. I haven't done much for it yet. And bboyagenttekken asks, can you do any accents like Australian, French, German, Italian, South Standard American, Northern? Okay, he's got loads of there. But the only accent I think I can do, yeah, is Jamaican, you know. That's how I like it, you know, yeah. We smoke here the whites and browns and everything and all that, you know. Going with a bit of the stereotype, huh? Love my tango cherry, you know. And as for the other ones, I'm not really, can't really do much different accents. Sometimes, some of them, I kind of thought, don't they sound the same, really? Stephen Jamieson asks, what's your thoughts on Tekken Tag Tournament 2 now that you've played it and clocked it? Did it exceed your expectations? Yeah, it did. The reason why is because I was expecting it to have some newer tag moves and everything like that, yeah. But the tag moves, what they did was really, really terrific, and I liked how they managed to sort of, if you match King with any random character, he'll still bring up different personalities with each character, which I thought was terrific. It was like you'd think that it would have just been King and Marduk, or Armor King, and that's it. That they'll have a specific acting bit with. But it's like, nah, you actually see King and Steve having a little bit of a difference, you know, and like how it would be then if it was with King and Hihachi, or King and like Paul or anything like that. So at least there was differences with each one. So I kind of enjoyed that. There was a couple of things, I think, in Tekken Tag Tournament 2 that was a little bit of a letdown, but it was something that I could look over. You know, I didn't like the intro screen when you're fighting, when you're going to fight each other. Yeah, the intro screen, I thought, I prefer it when King walks in, when he's like, you know, ready like that. But they kind of made it in this one that they're already at the fight. And, you know, King says, let's make this a fair fight. But, I don't know, so just a bit different. But I guess it's nothing that bad, really. And definitely like the combat stages. They've done a really good job with that. I remember I always said, yeah, that I was going to make a video. I was going to say I was going to make a detailed review. But because of everything I'm working on, it just never happens, boy. It just never happens. Okay. Andy14324 asks, who have you blocked on YouTube so far? Well, if you have done that before, I actually haven't. You know, I haven't blocked anyone on YouTube. You know, there's been loads of people who hate on me, do ridiculous comments on me, get things twisted, and then just cuss me about this or something I said or anything like that. Yeah. Usually I just at some points try and explain myself, or there are just times I just leave it and just go, whatever, just say your shit and whatever. You know. Do you like the DuckTales theme song and game? Why is that? Great song, by the way, and game as well. Yeah, I definitely like the DuckTales theme song. But always used to came on back in the day. I don't know why though. Yeah, for some reason, I used to like the show, right? Yeah, but I never used to watch the show as much as I used to watch other things that was on back in the day in my time. But I was always there, yeah, for the theme. It's like there was always those old cartoons where the theme song was so class that even if you didn't like the show, you would just turn it on for the theme. You know, there was a cartoon called Mask back in the day, and I was never into Mask, never liked the show whatsoever. Yeah, but I always stayed around for the intro. As it was one of these opening themes back in the 80s, man. They don't even do that anymore. And StockyDoccy asks, would you ever get a dog once you get your own place? If so, what breed? I don't think I would ever get a dog, to be honest, right? Yeah, you know, and it's not because of I don't like dogs or anything like that. Yeah, I just think dogs are blatantly 100% harder to take care of than cats. You know, I've been looking after my cats, yeah, since he was born. It's over 10 years now. And I looked after my friend's dog, Rocco, for one night. And it was more harder than anything, really. You know? It was hard there for me to work on, because my friend left 3DS Max there and Fruity Loops there for me to work on stuff. And it was actually hard for me to work on any of it while Rocco was there. It was really hard, so I don't imagine how he does it. It's a bit tough. So obviously, and also you can't leave the dog in a house by themselves for quite a long while, like how you can sort of leave cats, you know. So I don't think I would actually get a dog. You know, I don't think I'm good enough to get a dog really, anything like that. And second, I know you're not really going clubbing, but I'm wondering, have you been to a proper club, not a bar / club, a club? Well, that's the situation. I wouldn't know what the difference is, because I swear to God, every club has a bar in it. You know. Now, I remember going to a club somewhere in Wood Green. I forgot the name of it, but it definitely looked like a really big area where there was a bar in just only the little corner. So maybe I'm thinking you might mean that. But it did seem like a really big club. So I'm going to assume that was a club, and I wasn't liking it. I thought the music was a bit too loud. That even if when people say, "Oh, you're into music, so you should like clubbing," but then, for God's sake, if it's so loud and so bassy that I can't even freaking hear the music, can't even hear the melodies, what's the point? Okay, the phone just cut out on me, right? Yeah. So yeah, as I was saying, I didn't really feel a difference between a bar club or a club if the one I went to in Wood Green was a club, but yeah, it still wasn't anything that I was into really. But well, that's it. That's the end of all the questions, guys. Yeah. So thanks very much. I think my next video, yeah, is probably going to be something that I recorded on the phone quite earlier time, yeah, which is me using a crossbow for the first time. You know, for a little bit of jokes. You know, it's just going to be a little quick random jokes video. The bad thing about this video, I think, is that it's going to be because my friend held it vertically instead of horizontally. Yeah, I think the video is going to really squeeze in the middle of the screen, so it's going to be pretty poor. But let's see how it goes though when it's done, though, innit? Yeah. So that's it, guys. Yeah. Thanks very much. I'll speak to you all later. Love who you are.